I want to read from the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, and I want to read verses 1 through 3. And it says, "Gather yourselves together, yes, gather together, O nation not desired. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuah come upon you. Before the day of Yahuah, anger comes upon you. Seek ye Yahuah, all meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that you shall be hid in the day of Yahuah's anger." Wow, what powerful verses here. And we've been talking about the day of Yahuah. And we've been, in our previous sessions, I've talked about the fact is that the day of the Lord is mentioned in the scriptures, in the English translations, approximately 25 times. In the way it's really worded in Hebrew is the day of Yahuah. And it's a awesome time. It's a terrible time for the earth. For those that have received the Messiah and that are born again of the Ruach HaKodesh, this time frame, the beginning of this time frame, is what triggers the day of Yahuah, is the catching up of the church or the believers, and this begins the day of Yahuah. Now, I could prove this to you. I'm not going to take the time in this segment to go through all the verses, but it is the trigger of the day of Yahuah. A lot of people, get the rapture mixed up with the actual second coming of Yahuah, of Yahusha, to the earth, and that's the reason there's a lot of confusion upon this issue. But notice one thing about this in Zephaniah, that Yahuah is speaking to the nation not desired. Now, this is a reference really to the Gentiles or to the nations. He's given us a warning. He says, "Gather yourselves together before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahuah comes upon you." In other words, he's telling you, take heed to what I'm telling you, because you can make preparations right now. And I'm speaking on behalf of Yahuah. I'm sharing with you his word. And this is what he would say to you, especially if you do not know him. He says here, before the day of Yahuah's anger comes upon you, seek Yahuah. This is the enemy of what you're about to face. In other words, if you'll take heed to what he's telling you to do, it says, seek Yahuah, all meek of the earth. Now, the reason it talks about meek of the earth, it's talking about those that are, have a teachable spirit, or that they're meek in their attitude. They're not prideful. Prideful people, keep themselves out of the kingdom of Yahuah. Yahusha said, unless you become as a little child, you shall not enter the kingdom of Yahuah. And this is what this reference is talking about, the meek of the earth. It says, seek righteousness, seek meekness. And if you do that, it says, it may be that you might be hid in the day of Yahuah's anger. And I believe that that's a reference to the rapture of the church, that we're going to be called up together. We're going to be hidden from the wrath that's coming upon this earth. And I've got a lot more verses to share with you on this. And but our time is through for today. Thank you for joining me, and please listen in on our next sessions that we'll be doing on this topic. And again, I ask you to please share it with your friends. And thank you for all your support and your encouragement that you give me. Please continue to pray for me. I appreciate and covet your prayers. Thank you. Shalom.